Though this Johnny Appleseed is a tall tale, I feel like some of the elements for a tall tale just aren't there. Again, like I've said this before when we started talking about tall tale, John Henry is a really, really good example of a tall tale. It has a lot of humor. It has a lot of exaggeration. Like just from the picture alone, right? You can see this baby holding up its own like crib, you know? Like that's not possible, right? But John Henry was a real person, right? So when you're thinking about tall tales, we're thinking about things that are like exaggerated, can be humorous, right? This also has to do with the Old West, right? So a lot of these stories, right, again, have to do with real people a lot of times. But, you know, you think about the exaggeration. Like, did somebody really, did he really go faster than a machine when he was doing a pickaxe competition? Did he really, I'm trying to find the picture here. Did he really lift up two mules and run them down a mountain? Right, like, so, and the animals visiting him, yeah. Like, some of this is just extremely exaggerated. So I feel like the one we just read wasn't that exaggerated. I mean, there were things that were not true. Like, he didn't actually wear a pot on his head, right? And he actually, you know, probably didn't walk all throughout the Midwest planting every apple tree, right? Some of them were, you know, their own. So, why was Johnny Appleseed well liked? Why was Johnny Appleseed well liked? He fought alongside the Americans in the war. He wanted to spread apple seeds and keep people from being hungry. He walked barefoot. Why was he well liked? What do you think? A, B, C. A, B, C. B. He wanted to spread apple seeds and keep people from being hungry. That's fine. That's fine. According to the text, people seem to like Johnny Appleseed even though he was scruffy. Why did they respond to him that way? He was cheerful and smiled a lot. In spite of his appearance, he was doing good for all the people. He walked a long way. It actually has to do with him doing good, right? Sometimes people judge people on their appearances, but since he was doing something so nice and gracious and good, right? He was well liked. It was B. Okay, so in a tall tale, things are exaggerated. Name two things that might have been exaggerated from this tale. So we're looking, right? The farmer, he loved apples. He loved the way they looked hanging from a tree, and he loved the way they tasted. He thought there were apple trees everywhere, right? So he left home with apple seeds in a shoulder pack and a pan in his head. Said all he needed was the sun, the rain, and apple seeds. Johnny walked barefoot across the land with apple seeds in his shoulder pack and a pan on his head. He wandered across the land planting apple trees everywhere from town to town. So, what do you think might be exaggerated in this story? Dahlia? He walked around everywhere. Do you think he really went everywhere? No, right? Planting seeds. Yeah, everywhere is a compound word. Everywhere. Yeah, it's this one. Okay. There was another exaggeration, though it was a little hard to catch. There were a couple things that were harder to catch, but there. What do you think was another exaggeration? Second eye? He wore a pot on his head. I don't think that's true, right? They also said that all he needed, and he walked barefoot. let's be real, probably not true. But they also said that all he needed was a bag of seeds, right? And he left home with apple seeds in his shoulder pack and a pan on his head. He thought all he needed was the sun, the rain, and the apple seeds. So is that all you need for a really long journey? No, that's probably an exaggeration too. So we could say he wore a pot on his head. Probably an exaggeration. And we could also maybe think in our heads that the exaggeration is that all he needed was the sun, the rain, and some apple seeds. Because let's be real, he had other needs. He was a human, just like everyone else.
Mrs. Cummings, what is H-I?
S, that's supposed to be an S. Not my best S. And that's a D, that last letter on his head. Okay, according to the text, why did John Chapman most likely end up with the name Johnny Appleseed? A, he loved apples and thought that he should plant a lot of apple trees. B, he became friends with many people who appreciated him planting apple seeds. C, he wore a pan on his head and walked a long way.
Are we supposed to put a baby?
Yeah, I mean, this is a list, so not really. A, he loved apples and thought he should plant a lot of apple trees.
Yay. Are we done with the whole packet? Yep. Yay!
No, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Please tell me we are. There's only 2 pages. There's 2 pages more than. Oh my God!
Actually, I'm gonna say that A and B are too similar of answers to really play. Because here's the thing. At the end, it says, even though he was messy and scruffy looking, the Native Americans saw him as a friend, as did most of the people he met. And as he walked from place to place, people recognized him, right? And so I feel like as people got to know him and know what he did, they started calling him that because he was planting those apple seeds. So I feel like both could be good. Yes, Brittany. Yeah, his name is John Chapman, yeah, so they just kind of linked it on there. All right, so what we're going to do now, I can't stop the recording. It's a true person, but there are exaggerated things that aren't true.
Wait, didn't an angel come?
Okay, angel? No?
Yeah, you're still recording.
I know. So, here, this page, you are going to cut.
Oh, no.
That's why you have the scissors and glue, guys. That's why you have the scissors and glue. We're gonna cut off little polka dotty things.
Why did you?
Yeah, little polka dots. The polka dots.
Why did you cut it in?
You just have to cut it in kind of a rectangle.
Oh, wait, that's it? We're not done yet with the. We're gonna cut his legs now. And hurry.
And then
Just say hi.
on here, you're gonna glue it on the very next page after what is a fable, what do they call tale. You're gonna glue it there on that next page.
I mean, guys, if you're just legend, we actually know. On Monday, they're just gonna give us legend. Next Monday, when we have all my school?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even know how to work it. You don't know how to get it.
Well, Kennedy, I'll show you again.